Last night I put all the contents of the middle bin on the garden, which frees the space up so I can use that to turn this one into that bin. The reason for turning it is that it's not really doing anything now. The temperature is roughly the same as the air temperature, so I know that it's not breaking down, nothing's really happening. Once I move it, all the air will get into it and the sort of wetter bits will mix with the dry bits, and the composting process will start up and the temperature will probably go back up to 60 degrees or 140 Fahrenheit. So that's the plan for the next few minutes, move this into that. This is actually not looking very good, really. I'll show you this. This isn't what I'm looking for. It's super dry, and because it's so dry, it's not really breaking down into compost. That's one of the good things about moving, I suppose, is you get to look at it and you actually see what's going on. So as I transfer it into this other bin, I'm going to chuck a bit of water on it and get it a bit more moist. That wasn't a total disaster. The last sort of 20-30% of the compost heap is actually really good. It's retained some moisture down the bottom, and as you can tell, I mean, you could probably use that as compost now, so that's good. But the top section, yeah, way too dry. That was my fault. I put the covers on it. I mean, I only put those covers on these because I'd seen other gardeners do it, so you think that's what you've got to do. But I guess it comes down to your own particular area and the stuff you're actually putting on the compost heap and how dry it is. I guess, you know, we've got quite a bit of protection from these trees as is. The summer, I guess, maybe evaporated some of the water, but yeah, I think next time I'm gonna try it with the lids off and see how it goes. But that's how it all is with gardening, isn't it? I suppose it's just an experimenting with what works in your particular area. So yeah, for the next heap, leave the lids off. Did your dad ever say to you when you were growing up, like, use the right tool for the right job? Such a truism. But I bought this fork the other day. I also got this shovel. The shovel, not a spade, no good for digging, but you use it on the bottom of the ground here, and it's really good for just shoveling up anything you want to shovel up. But you stick it into the middle of the pile, you don't really. You've got to work quite hard and you don't really get much. But with the fork, you just jam it in there any way you want and you get loads. It's a great tool, right tool for the right job. We put this bit of the garden in just a few months back and it's done really well. I mean, we've not really spent much money on food at the supermarket. We've stocked. For the whole summer, we didn't buy lettuces, tomatoes, most veg. But the thing we didn't do is we couldn't grow things like potatoes, onions, garlic, things like that. We were running out of space. So that's why I've added on this section. This is probably an extra 20-ish foot, something like that, maybe an extra 8 meters. That should be enough to make the difference. So hopefully from now on we'll have enough to eat just from this. We'll see how we go. I'm pretty happy with it. It's looking good. Ready to start planting. So this is the smaller of the two, it's still huge. Yep. So that's the easy one there. That one, the other one's going to be maybe a bloody nightmare.
That was a struggle to lift.
Yeah.
Already.
And the other one's like a lot bigger. So, yeah, and it's really high up. Sun's just set, it's getting a bit dark, but I really wanted to show you this. This is unbelievable. I just bought these 2 huge Blackwood slabs. It's this real hardwood, and it's so heavy. So this one came out quite easily. It's heavy. The one on the roof's bigger. I don't know if we could get it down. It might be a bit dangerous. So I'm going to leave it for tomorrow and get a friend to come and help. Hopefully those guys will be able to lift it off. Yeah. Put it up there with a forklift truck because I couldn't fit it inside, but it's an absolute beast. But this wood is beautiful. So happy with it. It feels like a bit of a responsibility. It's such a beautiful piece of wood. I'm used to working with things like ply or construction timber, you know, just pine. This, on the other hand, is a whole nother beast. So this is Blackwood, Tasmanian Blackwood, incredibly hard wood. I mean, you try and get your nail into that and it does nothing. It's like pushing on a piece of concrete. It's going to make an awesome kitchen workbench. So the slab itself is plenty big enough for what I need, and I just need to work out which parts of it I'm going to use. I need to make a cutout for the sink, and I also need it to be width-wise a minimum of 600, because that's just what standard kitchen work surfaces are, which is 24 inches. So I just need to work out which bits I want to use. I'll flip it up and have a look at the other side. This thing weighs a ton, so flipping it up is not going to be too easy, but it'll be okay. My God, this thing's heavy. Already I think this is potentially a bit more interesting. Yeah, definitely being able to see those live edges is cool. Yeah, I think the size is likely to be the better option. Seems to be less work to do as well, except that, but I may not even need all of that. Right, I'm going to see if I can lie it down. So I've got the basic dimensions marked up now, so that's going to be my back edge. So I'll lose this, and then this is the live edge that I'm going to keep. So I think the next stage I'm going to sand this down, get this looking good, and then deal with these. So these, where you've got these knots, you can tell it's pretty soft in there. So if I put something like epoxy in it, there will be nothing to bond to it that's too flaky. So what I'll do is just use a small chisel, take all that stuff out, clear out the hole, and then epoxy it later. But for now, it's just literally sand that, and then yeah, maybe pick away at some of this stuff and get some of the debris out of it. I knew that rainstorm was going to come. I'm massively impatient though. I just wanted to get on with it. That piece of wood's pretty sturdy. It's probably, if you had it on a bus you were driving around, it's probably a bit heavy. You'd probably go for something thinner. But we're not going to drive this thing, so I quite like the idea of having something really chunky in here. I think it'll give it an interesting look.